Collectors Club with Michael and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
We're already talking with our guest. We're gonna bring her in just a moment, but we had to hit rolling because we're already excited. Hi, everybody! Welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillian. With me always is the twin of the seventh Ray.
Okay, Riley Bray.
That was submitted by Culture Fiend over on the BCC Discord.
I like
which you can
it.
Access
cool.
If you're a member of BCC Clubhouse over on Supercast. We're just gonna bring her right in. We're not gonna do any bullshit
right
up top this
Yeah.
week, Riley.
Let's just get right to it.
Our guest also, I love that there are just dogs barking in the background.
Sorry.
Usually it's
we're
my
big
dogs.
Dog people. Yeah,
We're big dog people here.
I'm gonna tell her to be
for
quiet. I'm gonna mute
go
myself.
it.
Sorry.
No, I've done this so many times on the show.
That has
So
occurred,
embarrassed.
I'll be like, just 1 second. I'll be like, Riley, stop it.
You're making me look bad. You're getting me angry.
Yeah. Our guest this week is a polymath, author, filmmaker, and advocate for mental health and neurodivergence, pioneering the study of plasma intelligence and consciousness. Her visionary work positions plasma as a bridge between dimensions and timelines, reshaping our understanding of perception, potential, and the nature of reality. We're going to get into it.
Wow.
Her new book, A New Force, Plasma, Consciousness, and the New Human Potential, is available. There you go, right there. She's showing it up if you're watching it on the YouTube. It's available wherever books are sold. Club Scouts of all timelines, please welcome the one and only Dana Kippel. Dana, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So first of all, before we go further, what kind of dogs do you have?
Yeah,
I have a corgi. Her name is Danica, and she barks at everything. How about you?
Terrier, 2 terrier mutts, one named Violet, barks at everything, and one named Zola, who I call Zozie, who's a little chonk machine, and she barks mostly at the FedEx guy.
Okay, that's interesting.
I have a white Siberian Husky named Nova, who is a cosmic but ornery old man.
Whoa, I feel like I'm not surprised. You have a husky. I don't know why. It just seems like your vibe.
Yeah.
Nova is the official mascot of the Bigfoot Collectors Clubhouse, for sure. He's been with us since the beginning.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, he's a real sweet boy. Dana, I'm so excited to have you on the show. I just want to know, if people don't follow you on Instagram, Dana the Alien, I really love watching your stuff because you have such a wonderful energy. You clearly have a sense of humor about these things. Yeah. And one of the things that I love stumbling upon are you're able to, in your videos, like, hey, check out this mythological goddess that shows up in these stories. And you kind of pull back the veil on what symbolic meaning story has and myth has and how it may connect to a larger metaphysical thing. If that's the right way to put it.
That's correct.
But that's the stuff that I love. I'm like, oh, cool. You'll be like, this goddess shows up here, here, and here, and it connects to this thing over here. So I really just enjoy that. And I just wanted to sort of a compliment. We're up front. Now, you say you're a polymath. How did you get into folklore and mythology to begin with?
Oh my God, not on purpose. I was in filmmaking and trying to like act in LA, and I started meditating. And then something came over me like a few days into my meditation where I just knew everything about this plasma I talk about. And with that came a lot of knowledge about information. And, you know, there's a lot of things on information theory and that, you know, this reality is made of information. But with information, emotion is attached. And those two things together form mythology and story. Mythology is the language of information. It is simply the stories we attach over time to energy, right? So when you listen to mythology, it becomes a portal, and it can be like a multi-layered answer for anything you're studying. So for instance, if a message comes to you and it's like a certain vision of a goddess, then look it up. That meaning means something. It doesn't mean you're that goddess or like you're God. It means that that archetype is trying to speak to you and that energy speaking to you through the language of mythology. So yeah, I found mythology extremely important. It even, there's even signs in mythology for some science terms we have now. Like there's this unique corner of physics called edge and hinge physics.
Okay.
And there's literally a goddess of the hinge and then a Janus who's the god of the doors and change. And they have to do with the physics. It's all crazy.
Janus is the two-headed,
Yeah.
the god that has a face in the front and a face in the back. Which if you watched a lot of foreign films growing
the god
up,
of the Criterion Collection.
yeah, you'll see him a lot watching Criterion movies. I love this. We're getting into it already.
Yeah.
What you just described about getting like an information download basically during meditation, that to me also sounds like, do you channel? Do you consider yourself a medium?
No, and here's why. I don't like the word channeling.
Okay,
I feel like
great.
it's a little spiritual bypassy because it's like I'm me, right? So like I guess I'm channeling, but I'm not. Like I'm just open. My heart is open and I have a certain intention to feel better and help other people as I'm trying to help myself. And what came through with that intention was plasma and mythology and expressing myself in this unique way. So I could say that I'm channeling my higher self or all these entities, or I could just be honest for myself and say, I'm just expressing myself every day in an honest way.
Well, I get it. I get the idea of like sometimes channel means I feel like an empty vessel or I'm letting something like drop in and run with it. And that's not, you're like, that's not exactly what I'm doing here.
No, I feel like I'm co-creating. And I think that's what all channels do. I'm not trying to put a negative spin on it, but it's like, I just view it that I'm expressing truth and it's a co-creation between whatever the heck is out there and my personality. But it feels like a part of me and it's just something I need to express. So I just express it.
How
was this like a sudden shift in the meditation? Was this like a gradual change or was it like a download or a sort of an aha moment or how do you describe it?
Yeah, it was like right away. So basically in my life, I had a lot of trauma. So I was always kind of living from like my head up before I started meditating. Like I never was settled in my body, and your body is where it holds intuition. It holds your senses, right? And I was always thinking, logic brain. So that never really came in. I had it as a kid, but it went away, as my life corrupted more and more. So when I healed a bit and I started meditating, something must have cracked open and I was open again to all that stuff. And once again, I think when we have a certain unique purpose, whatever's meant for our highest good in the world kind of comes through us. And I feel like my purpose found me and I found my purpose. And it was just like this beautiful blooming of connection that I was missing for most of my life. Yeah.
And go ahead, Riley.
And it was right away. It was right away. Like everything I still talk about now, like all of that I knew 5 years ago. Like everything was just all of a sudden in my head. Like everything about plasma you could ever think, it was in my head. And like everything you don't know about it's in my head. It's like I just feel it's so weird.
Everything I don't know about it is in my head right now, and that's why I want to know more
it's in
stuff.
all our heads.
I think maybe this is a good time. I mean, because there's, we're going to go where this conversation goes. But I think it's a good time to kind of like pause and define what plasma is, because I know that it's like if we're looking at a science book, textbook version of it, it's like an ionized gas. That it's like has something to do with ions and electricity and gas, but I still don't. I mean, I can Google it and look it up. Let's just look at the. Yeah. It has something to do with free electrons and proportions, resulting in more or less no overall electric charge. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So what it is in science, picture plasma as this big elephant, and science is only looking at its leg.
Okay.
And it's calling it plasma. So plasma in science is an ionized gas. It basically is the electrons are freed from the nucleus where there's protons and neutrons. And when they're freed, it makes a gas that is not conductive is now conductive because the electrons make it attractive to magnetism and more electrically conductive. It has the ability to be conductive. It is lightning is plasma. The aurora borealis, neon signs are cold plasma.
Your TV might be plasma.
Your TV might be plasma if it's older. It's 99.9% of visible matter. We are never taught about it in school. So now that's plasma, right? What we think it is now. Even scientists are starting to say now that plasma is more of a behavior of reality, and that reality is actually more malleable than we thought. And these plasmatic behaviors happen at all stages. So it's not just a state of matter. And that is in like the newest science, like PhDs are saying this. I'm not making it up. I think they're copying me. I'm just kidding. I think they're plugged in to the same thing I am. But anyway, so that gives me a lot of credibility, which is exciting. And my definition is that more metaphysical. It just stretches beyond science. So if you look at the whole elephant of plasma, it is a multidimensional, living, sentient ether, a finer plasma that makes up the fabric of our reality. And it is the vehicle for information, intelligence, and consciousness. So just think about if we're on a TV screen and all the little pixels are made of this really fine plasma that science just doesn't have the tools yet to detect, just like they couldn't detect gravity at first or particles, but they were theorizing about it. I'm theorizing something we might prove hopefully in 10 years down because I just intuitively know, but I can't prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is this like a source of consciousness or a connective tissue of consciousness, or how?
Good question.
How do you describe it?
You could, if you want to think about it, so we've learned about consciousness, but we've never learned about, which you can associate kind of with God, but what about the goddess? What about the mirror and the intelligent clay that consciousness molds? That has been left out of the equation, maybe studied in mystery schools called something else for thousands of years. And for the first time, we're actually studying it in science. Plasma actually means to mold. So just think of it as the feminine side of consciousness that is more sentient or feeling, and they work together to create reality. So we're missing, when we study consciousness, we're missing the fact that reality has its own intelligence and set of behaviors. And when you study plasma, you can actually learn about the behaviors of reality by how plasma and electromagnetism work together.
So it really does sound like plasma, and the way you talk about it is, and I think you said this moments ago, like the fabric of reality. Is that it? And like the current of reality?
Yeah, you can call it that for sure. Yeah.
And so what do we do with that? You know what I mean?
A lot.
So like,
how does it help us?
Yeah, how does it help? Like walk us through some stuff that maybe you talk about in your book, for example, and like how do we apply this knowledge?
Yeah, sure. No, because I would hate to. I studied a lot of psychology and I've been in therapy a long time as well. My background's in mental health, so I would hate to like shout this from the rooftops and not explain how you can integrate it. And my whole book is about like, okay, why does it matter for humanity? And there's so many reasons, but I will do two. I will do why it matters for the future of technology and why it matters for humanity now. So why it matters for us humans now is because plasma interfaces with our nervous system. And so if you want to co-create, your best reality for yourself, you want to know how your dance partner works of reality. You want it just like if you're dating someone, you don't control them, you have to understand them. We have lived our whole lives not trying to understand this plasma. So how are you really living a deep life if you don't know what's working with your consciousness? And very simple ways to connect with plasma is literally just grounding yourself in the earth and connecting with your heart. Just like lightning cannot hit earth unless it has ground. This cannot, we won't feel this energy unless we're grounded in our bodies. So one way is to ground, be in your heart energy. You can call it Shakti energy. It's the same thing. It's the vibration and electricity you feel coursing in you. It's like you're being held by this like warm cosmic mother. And why it also, I feel like it matters. I feel like I'll say this. You can call it anything you want. I'm reinventing the wheel, but I didn't discover the wheel. So plasma is, orgone energy, animal magnetism, ether, prana, chi, energy.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, it sounds like we've talked about this in different ways throughout human history. And those were some of the ether and chi were two of the things that popped into my mind.
Yeah, so it's all of that, but when you assign something a name, it unlocks different facets of it. So we can actually, for the first time, study this thing in science and say, oh my God, these are the behaviors and dynamics of it. This is actually the science of this energy and how it works. And there's so much to unpack there. It's insane. But it's to speak about it easily, it's a supportive, benevolent energy that works in certain ways. Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds also like what your work is moving towards is the idea of like, we always hear that like magic is just a term for stuff that science hasn't been able to explain yet or figure out. Like I almost wonder if like this energy that you're talking about, it feels like could be considered one-to-one like what magic with a K is.
It's the source of our magic. It's what we work with when we work with magic or chi or ki. So like if you the energy between your hands when you're feeling that tension, that resistance, that's plasma. And it's the Saint Germain and the violet flame. There's so many ways to put it, and I will parlay into this because it has to do with this. Okay, wait. So the future of technology. Oh no, I was on a rant. Why did I say it was important for humanity? Well, I lost it.
That's okay.
It'll come back.
Because plasma unlocks certain parts. I go in like a tangent, so I can't go off. Plasma goes. I'll come back to it. Why it matters for our future and technology is because plasma right now, the future most people think is in AI. There's actually something called plasma computing that they're doing right now. This is actually the future of technology. And what they're studying at certain places, like this place Rimere, Rimere, they're actually studying how plasma and consciousness affect each other. And what they're finding is that you have to resonate with plasma by being able to control your nervous system and be in a neutral state, in a playful state, rather than an attached state or too excited. And they find that when you're at this and then they get the plasma to resonate in a certain way with energy, frequency, and vibration, you sync together. And there's ways to almost communicate with it or through it or do things. So in the future, when we have these computers that have to do with plasma, they're not even real computers. They're more like, just think of like this like floating sentient blob that's going to synergize with your consciousness. So picture like telling this blob to like move across the room and get something with you. Or there's so many things you could do. But basically the future is plasma.
Okay. Great.
And we have to, work with our consciousness to be able to use these things.
Okay, great. Unfortunately, we have to pause for a break. We're going to come right back. We'll keep talking, but they have to take a break. We're not going anywhere, so we'll be right back. Okay. So here's a question that I have based on the stuff that you're talking about. And I'm so interested in, please forgive me, I'm not I don't know anything about this.
That's good.
So is there the plasma that's like in your TV or in neon or lightning? Is there a way that we can consciously interact with that energy in those forms? Or are those forms a byproduct of this energy that you're talking about?
Yeah, they're physical manifestations. You can have a conscious experience. You can feel connected with it. It would almost be like if it would, this is kind of hard to explain, but like a shadow of your mother or a pitch.
Okay, crazy. I mean, I love this example. What do you mean?
Yeah, so like, it's like we're seeing like a lower dimensional physical representation of it. So it's not, I would say, holding actual consciousness. Like neon lights are not conscious. They don't have like we are conscious, right? We have a plasma around us. It's fourth dimensional. It's our aura, our biofield. It's called a bioplasma in Russian CIA papers. They studied it since the 50s.
Cool.
But that holds our consciousness, right? And certain characteristics about this plasma lets it hold our consciousness. If I knew that, I would be a billionaire. Why that what kind of thing in plasma lets it do that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like more subtle, 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional plasma.
Got it.
3rd dimensional plasma, no, I would be a lunatic if that was true.
Okay. No. I'm not accusing you of that.
Yeah.
This is me, I think, trying to catch up and get around the hurdle of, are we talking about lights? You know what I mean?
I will say this though, when I went to that the place Ramir that I was just discussing, it was physical plasma and they had to tune it, and then I had to get in a certain state. But when it's not like I was talking to it, but I will say when I was resonating with it and I touched it, it started beating to the beat of my heart, which was very weird.
Whoa.
And I felt like through that plasma, I had a conscious connection with like maybe my higher self through it. Like it was like a amplifier.
Did you put this up, a photo of this stuff up on your Instagram? There was like a picture of you, and maybe we can put it up here on the YouTube if I get it.
Yeah.
Of like you in a purple, there's like a light in a tube, a purple light running up and down, almost like the height of your body.
Yeah, and I have a video of it too. Like I'm literally, and it never happened before. And you see the CEO in the background, like all freaking out like this. But I basically just went up and touched it without any intention, just like I genuinely was connecting with it, almost like beginner's luck. And it just beated with my heart. And then I couldn't get it to do it again because I was too excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was weird.
Wow.
So you
sounds like
mentioned
something out of
earlier,
a
like
James Cameron movie.
I know.
Like a self-awareness of this force that we're calling plasma. Like, do you view like the universe from like a unified self-aware model, or like how does that sort of fit into that?
Yeah, I view plasma, I wouldn't say it's self-aware, but I would say it has its own intelligence, right? And that even makes us question what is awareness and consciousness. I would say plasma is more like imprinted consciousness, like it holds memory and information, and then intelligence and consciousness travels through it, if that makes sense, as well as information. But it's almost like this, like, think of I hate using this example, but in the Matrix, like there's this fluid goo. Think of it as like just this like, and I don't think we're in a simulation. I'm fine answering that. But think of just this like invisible goo that surrounds us, that loves us, that's plasma and very benevolent. And then it can turn into anything when consciousness goes through it or information goes through it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
but
like,
I don't think it's
like,
self-aware.
It's like the medium for reality to manifest. Is that
exactly? That's way better than anything I've ever said.
By the way,
you wrote a whole book. I'm just trying to catch up.
Yeah. No, that's it. And there's different, what I call dimensional perspectives of that medium. So I break it up into 5D, 4D, 3D. And that's that Jacob Boehm, this like famous magician from the 1600s, he talked about the three layers. So did Cherokee Indians. There's so many. I'm basically just using those 3 layers because that's how I see it too. That doesn't mean there's only 3 dimensions, but those seem to be the perspectives and the structure that this is in, where it's like our higher selves or something higher or something more intelligent. And then there seems to be this middle layer where we both connect, which is like our nervous system. And then there's like the earth layer. And for the longest time, the middle layer has been called hell and demonized, when really it's the divine feminine. It's our magic power. It's our nervous system.
It's where we touch the substance. It's where that creative force meets us.
Yes, because it couldn't get into form if it had nothing to put it into form.
Yeah.
So this like 4-dimensional.
I don't know, Dana. Sounds like you're saying we're all conduits. We're all channeling a little bit.
We are.
Just teasing.
We are.
Walk us through. This is all so cool. Walk us through, if you can, and if you're able to, if you want to, this moment going back to the meditation where like you're like, boom, I've got it. Can you tell us what that was like, how this information presented it to yourself?
Yeah.
Was there an did you feel like there was an intelligent force behind that moment?
Yeah, so there's 2 things. So there was an intelligent force and then there was plasma. So number 1, this was a very mundane experience. So what I mean by that is I literally was trying to get over like a broken heart and like was going in therapy and like just wanted to feel better. And that's the only intention I had, was like to feel better and to connect with who I really am, because I realized I didn't know who I really was. And through that, I feel like plasma kind of found me, right? And I feel like that happens to a lot of people, this warm energy, almost like this cosmic mother that is ourselves, but also our original mother kind of finds us at the right time. And I felt so disconnected to myself, and I'd be searching for that in others. Anyway, so that was the only like environment I could say I was in when this happened, because people always ask. And so I started meditating with no intention. I was just doing transcendental meditation, saying a mantra, very innocent. And then, in this third or fourth meditation that I tried, all of us, you asked me to break it down, right?
Yeah. Like what?
Oh, and then the intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it happened, I will say like almost at the end of the meditation, at the end of the 20 minutes, I wrote down a feedback loop or like an infinity symbol, I think. I'm pretty sure I wrote it down. And I was like, okay, I just knew. I was like, there's a feedback loop. It has to do with plasma and like consciousness. Plasma is intelligent. It's the vehicle for consciousness. And I'm going to write. And then, so at first I felt like I was connecting almost with like that memory of plasma. Like it was this living animal, that a unicorn that no one had understood, that the pure of heart can approach, right? And the pure of heart, I'm an ex-drug addict. That doesn't mean you've never made a mistake. The pure of heart is just like an authentic soul, right? And I only want to help people. And it doesn't mean I'm the best person in the world. But still, that I genuinely do want to help people feel better. So anyway, connected with that. And I connected just with like the vast living being that plasma is, I feel. And then what came through was my higher self and intelligence, I felt. It was like me 3,000 years in the future. So I don't know, future me, higher self, I don't really care. But the meaning behind it was I heard her say, you're going to write a book called A New Force. It's already written in this timeline, and you're going to now co-create it in your reality. And it's going to be about all of this. And then I was like, I
love this.
But I was like, no. I was like, this is such a loser thing. No guy is ever going to marry me. I was like, Hollywood's going to hate me. I was like, I have to be a cool actress. So I didn't do it for like 4 years. I just like, and then I slowly, my dad got sick and he unfortunately passed away.
Oh, sorry.
But it helped. Thank you. But it helped me realize just a lot. And I was like, I just need to be happy for myself and stop chasing validation. And I was like, and this is my destiny. It makes me happy. I've stopped caring what people think. And then as soon as I started posting about it, I got all my followers and I left LA, and then I started succeeding and I wasn't even trying to act anymore. And I probably got more offers than ever before. And I just, I love doing it. And I wrote the book at, the year after my dad passed last year. And it's been the most beautiful journey of my life. But it was also very hard to, like, the hardest part was sitting down every day. Like, I knew what I was writing because it's all in here, but just making myself sit down was the hardest part.
Oh yeah. I say, and I haven't, this is not a phrase that I invented. Yeah. I love having written. I hate writing, that's a very tough thing to do. I get it though. I mean, like this is all like making sense. And I actually just lost my father a couple months ago.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Thanks. Lost both of my parents in the last 2 years, and I haven't had anything as profound as you're describing, but it is that alone is just a consciousness shift. You know what I mean? On a very basic level, it's a consciousness shift, but it's a shift in consciousness that like I don't think people really prepare you for. It's it seems like, it's awful your mom and dad died, but then there are things where you're like, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but like, the idea, idea of like,
makes sense.
The idea of like, I've described this to the psychologist that I'm going to marry. But I've told her, I was like, this is my fiance. I was like, when mom passed, it just felt like and I know this is a privilege. Not everybody has this relationship with their parents, but I was like, that idea of like unconditional love doesn't exist on this planet for me anymore. Like mom, no matter what I do or where I'd go, I always had the umbrella of like mom over me. And now that's gone. And so then you're like, whoa, that's a whole shift in consciousness. This idea of like, well, now I'm going to have to generate that
yourself
for myself, Yeah. And I think even though I wasn't as close with my dad, we got closer in the last year of his life. There's now with dad gone, it's like, well, and I think this is for maybe for men in particular. I know it's different for depending on what gender you identify as, but like, I'm like, you're dad now. You're the man now. Like the archetypal figure of like the guy, for better or for worse, he's gone now. So you got to be that guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, I don't know how this ties back into what we're talking about, but
It does.
it's this consciousness shift. And I think like when you said a shadow of your mother, that like set off a flare in my brain, because I think I like that you're describing this magic, this energy, this manifestation energy, plasma, as this maternal and feminine force that's like out there waiting to be connected with.
It's always there. It's like the sun, which is literally plasma. When the sun sets, is it gone? Yes, but it's still there.
Right.
That's like death, and that's like that's like the fact that we're never abandoned, right? And we all think we're these abandoned children on this planet, not realizing there's this energy that is all wanting to connect with us, but we have to meet it halfway.
I'll never forget, I was on a road trip with a buddy in college. We were a little stoned. And I don't think I was driving, but we were both high. So someone high was driving the car. We were smoking weed. And like, I remember going down this hill. We were driving in New York, like we were upstate New York, and watching the sunset and just having this idea of like, oh my God, the promise that the sun's gonna come back every day was like blowing my mind. And I was like crying, and I'm like, you don't get it. Like, it's gonna come back. Like, and it was this idea of, it was one of those like hippie moments. You're like, oh, love is the thing. This energy is the thing. The promise of, hey, you gotta trust that I'm about to go away, but I will return. And you see that in like resurrection myths, Christ myths, and all this stuff. And
and plasma's love.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I love
and the
this
divine
idea.
feminine. So the divine feminine is always with a man who resembles consciousness, right? In the Jesus resurrection and Osiris resurrection, Anana, Isis, this feminine figure is always near resurrection. Why? Because you need her to resurrect. You need plasma to contain the consciousness. So when you die, it keeps you going. So is that
what happens when we die? Do we fold into plasma?
Oh, yeah. So picture, it's our Merkaba or whatever the heck. I can never pronounce anything, our Merkaba. But think of your biofield around you. My dog is going insane.
No, it's okay.
She hates me. This 4-dimensional energy that's around us of plasma. When we die, our consciousness just gets carried by that subtle layer of plasma back into those subtle layers. So it's like we're like in a spaceship right now, and we don't even realize it. And we're on Earth. Our consciousness is crystallized here, but we can astral project by like liquefying our consciousness. And then, it takes our little plasma body goes out of our physical body, and then it comes back. But yeah, I can go into that all day. But I want to say with grief really quick.
Yeah.
Because I was in grief when plasma came to me, or this connection. Grief opens up a very interesting gateway. And it's a liminal space where the rules of reality don't really apply anymore, because you're so enraptured and also horrified by what's happening when you lose a parent or a very close person in your life, that it kind of lets this love seep in, and you realize you do have to generate it yourself. And that's usually when people have these experiences. Not always, but like for me, before my dad died, and it was, this heartbreak that could have been very silly, but it reminded me of, abandonment from when I was adopted and all these things. So that I felt that way. At least that was the story I told myself. Now I don't tell myself. But anyway, grief is like a gateway, but it also is a guardian, and it's a guardian to those higher states if you take its hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to be like, hey, Plasma, what's up? Why aren't you hanging out with me?
It sounds like it is, but just under the name Love. But
yeah. Let's take another quick break. When we come back, Riley's going to kick us off with another question, and then I got a few more. All right. Okay, we're back, Riley. We're talking plasma.
I'm wondering, so like, what role meditation plays in this now ongoing? So you had this sort of profound aha moment where you realized you've always known or always been connected to these things. But then when you get into sort of the day-to-day of life and, you know, this, the mundane and, you know, the tasks that need doing and all of that, like how do you, what's your practice? Like what role does meditation play in that? And how do you sort of maintain and care for this connection, I guess?
Yeah, I will say it's very paradoxical and human. I think people will really respect this answer. So half of the time I'm in, you know, this higher dimensional state, right, where I'm in a flow and I'm in so much love and I literally love everyone and I meditate twice a day. And I usually do. And then, you know, I'll have a few days a month. Maybe it's PMS. I don't really think it is though. But I have a few days a month where, you know, I have to go to like Target and then like Raising Cane's and there's traffic like today and I couldn't get a parking spot and I was like, fuck everyone. Like I hate everyone. But like I love everyone, but everyone's just bothering me and you know, I'm human. And I think it's that juxtaposition about accepting that we're all human, no matter how spiritual we are, and we all are just silly gooses and do really stupid shit sometimes. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse.
No, you can.
Oh, I can. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but we're striving to be better, and that's all we can really do. And not even be better, but just striving to be more like at peace with ourselves.
Yeah.
But as far as meditating, so I religiously meditated for like, I would say 2 to 3 years, 20 minutes, 2 times a day. And then there was like a year where I kind of got sick of meditation and I don't like rules. And I felt like then it became a rule and that wasn't fun. So then I tried like, you know, doing yoga and Qigong. And I loved Qigong. And then when I was ready to go back to meditation, now I'm meditating again. But I find myself kind of chasing the dragon from all those fantastical experiences I had in the beginning. And now I'm realizing, and this can be very philosophical, when I was having all those experiences, very visual experiences early in my meditation, they were almost like signals or like this love that I didn't have within me yet that I had I wouldn't know what it was unless I had those experiences, and then it left me because I never would have became the person I am if I kept having those. So it's almost like I had to be like, it showed me what it was, these things, and then I almost had to have it leave me, integrate that with myself and in therapy. And now it's like I just live a more integrated meditation of life where I'm just like being more present and connected most of the time. And I have more of these experiences, like not so much visual experiences anymore, but just like weird magical experiences in real life.
Right.
So it's almost like it landed
like a
in me and
synchronicity or something.
Yeah. So anyway, Anyway, I meditate twice a day still. I'm in this really frustrating place where I don't really know what my meditation is about, and it's annoying, but I'm doing it still, and I'm very intuitive, so.
Relatable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my question is like, are you still, and it's, I think you answered this, like, are you still like on the phone with the higher
Plasma.
Intelligence or your future self, you know, on a daily or, you know, daily meditative basis?
Well, I will say, now it's almost like this is what I mean with the imprint or like the signal. It's almost like my higher self's still up there somewhere, right? She's like in the future / present now, some dimension, my like expanded self. But it's like a little seed of her landed in me and expanded. And now I'm this flower of her and me combined. And it's more like a living thing and like I'm connected with her, but it's now like my own intuition versus always asking for guidance. Like that, I see people get very stuck in instead of just knowing, oh, it's just based on my emotion and feeling, like, and letting the mystery unfold. So now it's just about like feeling into my essence and following that versus like, oh, what's happening? But sometimes something will speak to me. And then, with plasma, I mean, I know I'm always connected. It doesn't mean I always feel connected, but that's because I might not be resonating in that frequency. I might be in my ego and just a poopy head.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no,
and we're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of, I always feel like that's
the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like
human.
The contract with the third dimension is like you're going to go through a lot of like shit times.
Yeah.
You know? I love this idea. If we can pause to unpack a little bit, I love this idea that maybe the higher intelligence that we communicate with is a form of ourselves from the future.
Oh, I think so.
And could you extend the future to be post-life? Could this be like a future spiritual version of yourself that's passed on?
Yes. So I think 3 things. Let's see if I can stay on track. Because it's like, more than one thing is true, and it's hard for humans to conceptualize that. Like, okay, so this self is my higher expanded self, and that they don't like, I'm channeling, they don't like the word higher because they're not on a pedestal. We're learning from them, they're learning from us. They're ourselves. I call them our future ancestors. It's a paradox.
Cool.
And it also is myself in a future. Maybe I'm not on, I don't feel like I'm on a solid earth. It feels like a more ethereal existence, like, fantastical crystal mountains, this lake, this rainbow I see every time I visit her in my mind. So it's like more fantastical.
Dreamscapey.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say it's like, I guess I'm dead to earth, but I'm not. Like, it's in the present also, which is, so basically, this is the best way to explain it. I'm working with her, whatever this is, which is just an expanded version of me in many different ways that's not beyond human conception. But the best way to explain it is me and her are working together, like, our long lost lover. It always is our higher self. That's the real long lost lover of every music song, if you really break it down. And we're searching for it in other people. But we need to find it first within ourselves. And we're both molding this plasma together. So when you're connected to that, you mold it a lot easier. And when you do this, so there's all your future potentials, there's all your pasts. When you mold with your higher self, you create almost like what shoots. It's like I think it's in the Wheel of Vishnu, or like picture the flower of life and something shooting out of it. It creates like an emergent future. So these beings are working together with us to actually create things that have never been created before. So it's a very creative existence. And then when people say we're in a simulation, that's just people who are stuck in trauma loops like we all have been in. And that feels like a simulation because we're repeating the same patterns. But a simulation is a mere shadow of the living reality, which is way bigger than that. So yeah, and then reality is deterministic because you're only making choices based on your past, which leads you to those every future potential. You're not working to create a new one.
Right. I feel like that this kind of puts to, I don't want to say practice. I mean, it is, but it's sort of illustrating a visual for this idea of manifestation and things that I've not been able to put into. I haven't been able to articulate. Maybe we'll fail to do so in this moment too. But like, there's definitely like moments where I will look back and be like, God damn, I was like really feel like I was really on it. I was really connected. I was able to like achieve goals like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then there are times like I would say recently where I'm like, I don't know necessarily what my goals are anymore. I don't necessarily know what I want. And so like things aren't changing, but like, was I maybe when I'm like on fire, am I tapped into plasma in that situation? Am I like corresponding with my higher future self maybe?
Yes. So my answer is both. And here's why. So picture yourself jumping up and down. To jump up, you have to bend your knees. So you're always doing that when you're hopping, leveling up. So your knees are bending. That means you're in the unknown. You don't know what your future holds. That's actually the best place to be because that's the most creative time. And those moments always bring you to those next moments. And then you're jumping up and the wind is carrying you. You're flying. You're in that river of plasma. It's holding you. And then again, you reach another one where you're bending down. You think you're abandoned by life. You're blind. But when you're blind is when you're open to the most vast potential. And in those, when you finally have a choice, then you kind of, your choice is to make a new emergent future or to repeat something from your past. And in every moment, you're just doing those things. But contrast is a part of our experience. And if we didn't have that jump down, we wouldn't have the jump up. So it's just more about learning how to be in relationship with that than avoiding those times, if that makes sense. And most spiritual people try to avoid those times. And we're making that mistake of that we can't.
Got it.
On that note, do you view like a counterbalancing force to what you describe as plasma, like a yin to the yang sort of thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a dark and a light in everything, and I think plasma has its own dark and light, just like consciousness does. And I would say that, but I don't think that has to do with the what I'm speaking of. But I do think, like, if I would relate it to something, because picture that you're just like in the Rainbow River and you're just kind of going up and down like that. But the dark part of plasma would be a lot of us who have fear and trauma and what some could call creating evil, which is really just a byproduct of human fear. When that's imprinted on a plasma, or when you're resonating subconsciously like that, like we all have at times, you might see demonic entities or witches or shadows visiting you, because it's the plasma, the 4-dimensional plasma that's holding that consciousness or the information for you, that energy, it's reflecting off your subconscious. So if you're scared, you're going to see a demon. If you're looking for love, you're going to see an angel. If you're more neutral, you might see this holographic being or some whimsical thing. So the dark side of plasma is really our own conscious projections, but it is a side many people experience, and I have too. But it's not actually dark. It's just
like the playback that
not necessarily
you're sort
negative or positive. It's more just I guess balance or.
It sounds like it's all very self-generated. No. Like we're just interact. When do we break through and interact with other people's consciousness?
Well, I'll relate. Life is the perfect training ground. So like my reality, I'm like thinking about me most of the time, right? Like your reality is self-generated. That doesn't mean we all aren't here. Like the people that say we're all one, like, yes, but we're also individuals, and like you're real and I'm real. Like you're not all NPCs. Maybe some people at the restaurant are, and I don't understand what they're speaking about. But most of us, you know what I mean? When you see people that are like NPCs and you're like, what the am I in The Sims?
Yep.
But no, for the most part, it's the same way in that spiritual world, or that this metaphysical existence where you're having an individual experience. But wait, ask the question again, because I had it.
I was saying, when do we break through and interact with other people's consciousness?
Other energies.
Other energies.
Yeah. So I'd write about this in my book. So there's either like your higher self is visiting you, right? And it's coming through this 4-dimensional plasma that is painted by the collective unconscious. So through all these archetypes, and whatever you're resonating with, it will show you that certain archetype, right? And there's messages for you. Then besides your higher self, there's all our other higher selves, right? So maybe someone else is communicating with you through that, right? And that's your job to figure out, is it someone else's consciousness? Is it yours? Is it a being from another reality? And they never will be evil, because only benevolent beings can travel through plasma, because plasma's love. And for consciousness to travel through it, real consciousness, you need to be in love. And that's why they're only benevolent beings that can reach us. And that's why we're literally not dead. We would be dead. Like, I don't care what anyone says, like nothing bad is coming. We would be dead already. They can time travel. And then if anything else is visiting you that's dark or feels evil, that's just the informational layer. And that's your trauma in an energy packet. So it's not conscious. That's what I call information. Those are limiting beliefs. Those are all of our beliefs. They're not even all bad. But that's the difference. So yeah, I've had, entities very positive visit me. That's where we get all our ideas from, is, we mix it with those things.
So when you had those moments and you felt like you were you are communicating with a future version of yourself, like did that feel external to yourself, or did it feel like do you feel that you're communing with something outside of yourself, or is it sort of like that, like a cup of water from the ocean is unique but also is the same, how do you just describe that relationship?
Yeah, when it's something that feels like me, it feels like a little flutter in my heart. Like it'll feel like part of my soul family, or I just like feel it in my heart more. It feels very peaceful and clear. And then if it's another being of consciousness, which I've had, and I teach about this in my magic class, it feels more like other. Like it might not be as clear either. Like it might be a little more, not even confusing, but just not as clear. I don't know how to explain it, but that, and you have to just feel into it. It almost feels like an ant. That's the best way to describe it. It feels like an ant. That's the energy all of them feel like. An ant, and not even an uncle. I would just say an ant. Yeah. And then if
not an insect ant, like a family member ant.
Yeah. I mean, you could even say both, because it's about like sensories and but yeah, like an emotional female, right? But yeah. Feels like an aunt. Maybe to you it is an uncle. I don't know. To me, but it always is this like loving presence, even if it is not as clear as myself. So it feels like
related, but not as directly related to yourself or as yourself.
Yeah. And then there's like the informational beings, which is like, something in a trauma, right? Or a memory, or maybe someone is sending not good energy my way and I'm feeling that energy, which you can protect yourself from all those things. But, they might still appear in your existence. And those feel very confusing. I feel like fear, and it doesn't feel like a soft thing. It feels, the difference between fear and intuition is clear and in your body, and fear is up here and it's like stabbing almost. So that's how you can always tell what's fear and intuition now. Yeah.
Deal with a lot of that fear stuff.
Same.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Also part of the deal.
Yeah, also part of the deal. Let's take a break. When we come back, there's a game that we play with all of our guests, and we've got to play it with you.
Okay.
All right, Dana, we would get yelled at. I mean, I can't believe we're already almost in an hour. It sucks. I really want to it's flying by too fast.
Sorry.
But boy, oh boy, would we get yelled at if we did not do this next exercise. Okay. I'm going to run down a list of phenomena. Okay. If you're open to it, you have to decide right now. If you're open to it, you're going to say, believe it.
Okay.
If you're not open to it, you're going to say, bullshit.
Okay.
This is a game we call bullshit
or believe it.
Okay. Can I say why or no?
We'll come back.
It's rapid fire. Yeah.
It's rapid fire. But we'll come back. We'll come back, and we always do.
You got to go with the intuition. No fear.
Yes. Yeah.
I like believe everything. Okay.
Dana Kippel, on your mark, get set, ghosts.
Yes.
Say believe it or bullshit.
Believe it.
I know you don't like rules.
Believe it.
Bigfoot.
Believe it.
UFOs.
Believe it.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Believe it.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Believe it.
Tarot cards.
Believe it.
Manifestation.
Believe it, but not the best approach.
El Chupacabra.
Believe it.
Ouija boards.
Believe it.
Seeing the future.
Believe it.
Out-of-body experiences.
Believe it.
Dogman.
Don't know what it is, but believe it.
It's like it's like Bigfoot but a dog.
I believe it.
Goatman.
Believe it.
Sheep Squatch.
Believe it.
Bat Squatch.
Believe it. I'll explain these why.
Life on other planets.
Believe it. It just might not look like us.
Life after death.
Believe it.
Oh, well done. I love it. A full believe it.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. All right.
I can tell you why.
Please, great. Yeah,
yes.
please. Yeah, let's unpack it. Absolutely.
So who am I to say what someone's truth is, and why cannot everyone have different truths? And who are we to say, who's wrong and right? Who am I to say I'm right and you're wrong? So my point is, everyone has their own reality experience, and a being might come to them looking like that. Does that mean it's real in everyone's collective reality? No. It could be. It could be. But does it? No. So it might come as like a more subtle, like I've seen a Bigfoot like laying
Let's talk. We cannot scoot right past that, Dana.
Drop that at 52
Here we are,
minutes
51 minutes into the episode.
And we've seen a Bigfoot.
Let's hear it.
In typical fashion, it appears late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
not when you least expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, and I never would have thought that this would happen to me, because now I do, but I was in bed. It was after a few months after my dad died. And this is probably the weirdest Bigfoot story you'll ever hear. I was in the middle of Asheville, and there's Bigfoot energy there, right? So once again, these different archetypes based on the energies of the area might show up as different things.
It's a totem. Like Bigfoot is a totem in an area like that. And for lack of a better term.
You're talking Asheville, North Carolina, just to place the story?
Yeah, Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay,
yeah, like all these things are like the paint that these energies come to in, right? So I was trying to go to sleep, or I maybe was sleeping. And I was sleeping. And I woke up, and I know I was awake, and there was a light coming through the window, almost like a projection. And then next to me was a white albino Bigfoot just looking at me like, and it had my dad's energy. It was literally my dad's Bigfoot, I think. And it was just like this. And I blinked and it didn't go away. And then I backed up, but I knew it wasn't evil. Like I backed up and I was like, like just trying to make it go away, and it still wouldn't disintegrate. And after about 3 minutes, it just started to fade, and I was like, "What just happened?"
3 minutes is a long time.
I swear
for that
to
be going
God,
on.
it was like because it was in, like when these things happen, I believe we're in a liminal space, like a pocket of reality where we're just like interfacing with the subtle energy. And yeah, it just appeared to me, and we didn't have a conversation. I knew it was my dad saying hello, but he looked like a albino Bigfoot, I guess. Thanks, Dad.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
That's
it was
rad. I mean,
Incredible.
I've heard of things like that. Like, there were seances in the turn of the century where in the middle of the seance, like what we would now describe as Bigfoot or Sasquatch would appear in the room.
wow.
And not like the ghosts that everyone thought they were expecting.
wow.
They were like summoning like this type of entity, which is really, really wild. So like
That's so funny.
dematerialize or materializing, then dematerializing like holographic Bigfoot. Sort of heard about it before.
Oh my God, okay.
None of our guests have seen it, but this is
I have.
cool. But I like that you also were like, oh, this is Dad. Like, it sounds like it was very clear that like this is Dad sending a postcard from the other side.
I knew it was because I'm very open and I don't have a bias. So I'm open to whatever truth comes to me. If it's Bigfoot, it's Bigfoot. What does it matter to my life? But I focus on I focus on the meaning, meaning behind the message. I always have been told never focus on the physical appearance, focus on the meaning. And that's with people too. So that's how you see past the information layer, past the subconscious reflection layer, which is our own meaning projected against everyone in a spirit world and human world. If you open your heart, you see the kernel of truth in every being that visits you. And to me, this was my father, and I just knew it. And I wasn't hoping to see him either. I just felt that it was him. So it was him.
So do you think, does this leave the door open for you, though, that there could be like the Bigfoot consciousness that is this hairy wild man type primate thing that does manifest itself as that? Or is it always, or are these archetypes popping up tailor-made for us? Or, like when we see a flying saucer, when people see UFOs, when we see these lights in the sky, do you think that this is, would you say that, well, that is plasma manifesting itself in this form? Well, a lot of them really are. Like three-dimensional plasma, it seems like. I guess is it a catch-all term for like sometimes it shows up as a ghost, sometimes it shows up as a Bigfoot, sometimes it shows up as an alien? Or would you say there is alien energy that are aliens or physical aliens, or there's Bigfoot energy that are physical Bigfoot, and there are ghosts that are actually ghosts? Or is it all plasma presenting itself in like a package so it can interact with us?
Sure. I think once again, both, because there is my dad's energy and then there's this Bigfoot energy, right? And they fuse together and visited me that way. But here's the thing. These archetypes, it doesn't mean they don't exist somewhere in these more benevolent higher dimensions, and they're not evil or good. They're just like these benevolent creatures in a different world. And maybe we've seen them throughout time and now they're imprinted on this 4-dimensional field, and we're seeing that energy, and they've their stories attached to them. So they visit us. It's almost like they're spacesuits, and they get to choose their costume. But maybe they're influenced by this more vaster world than we're in right now. So both. And then I had a really good answer. Just like ghosts are both. What did you ask?
Well, that is a perspective that has been discussed in many different ways. That's a very similar idea of what you're saying about whatever it is, this thing.
Yeah.
Yes, on our show
put a name
specifically.
On, it shows itself in many forms.
So with UFOs, can I answer that quick?
Please. Yeah.
So same thing with UFOs. Like, once again, if they're visiting us, they're benevolent. I don't care what anyone says. I know people have had horrible abductions, but for me, that might be a mix of what's happening in your own inner trauma and these beings. And you might be like imagining something that feels very real and is very real, but I won't go into that but when UFOs, what do? They reflect our state of consciousness. Some people think they're coming to save us. Some people think they're coming to kill us. Some people think we're in a control system. If you look at their psyche, they probably feel that way in their inner lives as well. So they are reflecting our consciousness. And what really is the UFOs modus operandi, in my opinion, is they're trying to say, hey, we're working with plasma using our consciousness, and you can too. And all they're here to do is reflect our inner power. But that's reflecting what I think. But I really do think that because I don't have an opinion. Like, I will, if I thought something else was true, I would say it.
I mean, that to me tracks. I don't see any reason, you could say that like, okay, if there are aliens and they're coming from other planets that like, you could say like, well, if they're visiting, if they're popping in and out, if they're picking us up and dropping us back off, then we just happen to see them from time to time, and they're not hiding it, but they're also not like announcing themselves, but I also see the side of things where it's like, maybe this is what announcing themselves look like. It's like, hey, everybody, we're flying over a big city. Friendly reminder. This is something you guys could pull off if you work collectively to achieve this, or you might be able to look at this little show we're putting on. Just a reminder to
interdimensionally
make sure that you're thinking about these things, because you do need to progress in this direction.
Yes. Why else would they be showing up in nuclear sites or during war?
Right.
Like,
right.
Why wouldn't they just appear? Okay, number one, they would either stay invisible and we just never would see them because they're way smarter than that. Like or they would come and talk to us. Like the disclosure is BS because it's already happening. It's our higher selves, and that's not as sexy of an ad as this other stuff.
And like ultimately, it's not gonna be coming from a world government they're not gonna be the agency that tells us these things are real. Like that's just never gonna fucking happen. It's just not. It's gonna be directly from the thing itself, I feel like. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's already happening. All we have to do is listen within, and what's distracting us? The government and disclosure.
Yeah.
That's what this the perfect distraction. They're literally taking what's inside of us and our sovereignty, or however you say that word, and then they're saying, hey, we have the answer, we're gonna do this, stay focused on us. And then we're all most of us, not me, are obsessed with them and disclosure, not realizing the disclosure is happening within our little peaceful hearts.
Yeah. I also want to just note about the abduction thing, like when I take my dog to the vet, it might as well be an alien abduction for her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're just like, I know it's scary. I know it's painful. I know you're terrified, but we're actually doing something good here. Yeah. And I think that we do have to consider that, like, maybe the alien abduction thing is like, because often in the stories you'll hear that they're saying like, don't be afraid. We're gonna make this be as painless as possible. But there might be some other thing that they're doing by picking us up and testing us. It's actually like akin to taking your pet to the vet.
So I don't think they're testing us. So you want to know what it is? And this might be hard for some people to hear. And I'm not saying this is definitely it. This is my opinion, because I've had this happen. I have an abduction memory where I was poked and prodded by this like reptilian looking freaking. No. And it was very sexual and weird. But the thing is, I had that kind of trauma in my background. So when it was and when they say do not be afraid, that's because every trauma is going to reflect off them. So it's almost like my trauma was being worked out in this liminal space, because that's what covers it before we see what's really happening. So my opinion would be, hey, maybe look at your inner child and past and see if that's showing itself to you to heal something. Because once I got through that, I actually had the same memory, and it was a beautiful memory of the same energy visiting me and not experimenting on me. And it was more of a conversation. Yeah. So it's very weird how our memories, just like in real life, our memories create different things when we're in different perspectives. Same in that energy world. They're not poking and prodding us. They already know like they don't need to do that.
Yeah, they're like, what's inside this thing? It's like they already, they're not looking at like how guts work.
No, what they want to know is how emotions work. They want to know how we persist against death and pain and suffering, and we still want to keep going. And it's a beautiful thing to be a human. And they're literally interested, just like we want to know more about sharks and dolphin emotions.
Yeah.
And most of us don't want to kill them. We're still being stupid and human. Some of us are doing that.
This is a good time to announce that our summer theme is going to be Sharks and Dolphins Emotional Summer here on BCC. So
that. Let's go.
That would be a great summer theme. Just all of our episodes are about sharks and dolphins' emotions.
Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, it's the same thing here. They just are curious about our emotions. That's really it. Because they manifest with feeling, not emotion. It's like more subtle. They manifest with the plasma with feeling, and it happens right away. And if we did it right away, the world would explode. That's why we can't manifest right away. So the point is that they want to know how we're creating with this substance, with our emotions, which they don't even know fully yet.
Dana, I wish we had more time. I'm glad there's a book I can go read.
Yeah.
I'm going to remind everybody of the title and where they can go get it.
And then I have to tell you my surprise.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had a surprise you told us about.
Okay, so number one, my magic classes are on my Instagram at dana.thealien and on my Stan store and danakippel.com where I teach a lot of this stuff live. And then my book is A New Force, Plasma Consciousness and the New Human Potential. You can get it on Amazon or at the link in my bio.
And we'll put a link in the show notes and all that stuff here too.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's where you can find it.
Awesome.
And
all right,
are you ready now?
Yeah, we got a surprise.
Okay, wait. I'm really bad with facial recognition, but I'm pretty sure you were in True Blood, right?
I was, yes.
Okay.
Unless you're talking to Riley.
No, I have a True Blood tattoo.
No way. Wait, what is it?
It's the lips, but then I jumped in like the pool and they kind of got messed up, so you can't see the vampire teeth really.
No, you can.
No,
yeah.
that's awesome.
That's like a season 1 poster of the like lips. That's rad.
So I was just so obsessed with it that I got it. And I remember you were on it, so when you messaged me, I was like, I loved that show.
Yeah, clearly. Oh, that's great. I love that.
Too.
That's really cool. Yeah, nice synchronicity.
Yeah. Just wanted to show you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, we're friends for life now, so there you go.
Plasma.
Go get the book. Take some magic classes. I'm gonna pick up that book. I'm gonna read about. I need to learn more about plasma.
Yeah. I guess on our way out here to the person that's like listening to this driving to work or doing the dishes or whatever, like I guess what I've taken away from this is sort of this sense of like reality as a mirror to understand the self, kind of, I guess. But I'm wondering, in your words, like what's sort of just a takeaway for your day, walking away from this conversation? Like how can someone sort of bring these ideas into their own life?
I love that. I think my biggest takeaway, and this is really what it's all about, because plasma is once again a reflection of the true message and mirroring the true message, which is that you have all the power you've ever needed within you. You are a human star. You are never alone. You have so much support with these energies and humanity. And we need to remember that, and to always be yourself. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up, and just to really be your authentic self, because that's the highest frequency you could be in, and be your weird self and play and just let it all go and laugh.
I love it.
I love it. Perfect.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dana. We're going to sign off here, Riley. Thanks, everybody. If you want more BCC, you can check us out over at bcc.supercast.com. Dana, usually we do a like Collector's Corner where we recommend something that we're into. I'm actually going to do one personalized to you that I've been thinking about since you were going to come on the show. I mentioned this, I think, on the other side, but I don't know if you're like a Marvel person. I'm a big comic book nerd.
Yeah, I like Marvel.
The new show Wonder Man on Disney Plus is incredible. And if even if you don't like Marvel, or if you think Marvel's boring or you're over it, this show is great. And I would argue, without giving too much away, I think that there is a lot of plasma symbolism and literal plasma powers in this show. So you need to check out Wonder Man and get back to me.
Oh my God. They probably follow me on Instagram. I'm just kidding.
Probably do. Probably do.
I can't wait. There's so many plasma shows. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This one's a good one. I mean, he has his powers are ion based too. So there you go. Yeah, you gotta check it out.
Plasma powers are very real. I'll talk about that another time. But we all have magic powers.
We'll have you back. Yeah, we need to do a whole magic episode with you, I think. Here you go. There's Violet. She's telling me my time's up.
Hi, Violet.
She needs her walk and her medication, her heart medication. So.
Oh, poor Violet.
All right, everybody. We will see you next week with an all-new episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club. Bye-bye. Good night.
And go get rest.
Bye.
Violet.
Everyone.
Bigfoot Collectors Club is executive produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillian, and engineered and edited by Riley Bray. Our theme song is Come Alone by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. For ad-free listening and bonus episodes every month, join BCC Clubhouse on bcc.supercast.com. Want to see us? Watch video episodes and exclusive content on youtube.com/@BigfootCollectorsClub.